Welcome back to the Can't Stop Talking podcast. Today, I have an episode that truly changed my life. And I'm going to talk about one thing that dissolves every single manifesting mistake that you are making. I can't believe it took me 10 years of studying manifestation to learn this, but I'm just so happy I learned this so that I can teach all of you and you do not have to make the same mistakes that I was making. And so we're going to go over 4 mistakes today because if I talked about every single manifesting mistake that we all make, then we would be here for fucking ever. So let's get into this. I have a bunch of notes on my phone for this. And before I started recording, I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I was one of those girls who could like have a script that they read off and they don't even know that they're reading off a script. And I was like, that's not me. Like, I want to get you guys this information. I want to make sure that you get all the information that I have written down and I don't want to miss a thing. And if that means reading off my phone, I'm going to read off my goddamn phone. So here's your permission slip to be a hot mess. That's how I built my whole business, from just doing the damn thing instead of thinking that I needed to be someone else to be successful. Like, you get to be yourself. So with that being said, let's get into the first mistake and then I'll tell you what solves every single manifesting mistake. This should be illegal to know. I'm obsessed with this. I'm so happy that I found this because this is life fucking changing stuff. So the first mistake that people make, if they're anything like me, is you'll do your manifestation routine and you'll get done with it and you're like, yes, I can do anything. I feel amazing. And then like 10 minutes goes by and you're like, where's my manifestation? Well, wait, how is it going to come? Like, how is this even possible? Like, could this even happen for a person like me? And then maybe an hour goes by and you're like, it hasn't happened yet. Like, maybe I need to do more. Like, what more techniques do I need to do? And you like start piling on techniques and then you're frantically manifesting and you're manifesting from a place of forcing and overthinking. And so this is the classic, how will it happen? When will it happen? What if I mess it up? You're trying to think your manifestation into existence. Planning it, predicting it, controlling it, micromanaging the universe. And like I always try and say to you guys always want to take the universe's job. You guys always want to figure out the how. That's not your fucking job. Like, why are you trying to do more work in this economy? Like, I want to be a lazy manifester, right? The how is none of your fucking business. So stop trying to figure out the how. But that's just a separate thing that I had to say. So anyways, and the more that you do that, the more that you micromanage the universe, the more resistance you create. So here's the thing that solves all of that. Presence. Presence solves this because presence drops you out of your head and into right now. You stop living in the future timeline of it's not here yet. And you shift into receiving mode. You don't need to figure out, you just need to be here. Because why does this happen? Because you are thinking. All of your thoughts, all of these mistakes that I'm going to go through, all of the problems in your life come from your thoughts. This is like the craziest realization I've ever had because you're like, but I have real problems. Here's the thing. Everything in your reality is actually neutral. It's just the story that you give it. And I always told you guys the story about the farmer, but I'll retell it because this is what really made me realize it. There's this old folk story about a farmer, and basically one day his horse runs away and the townsmen are like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And he goes, maybe. This could be good, this could be bad, right? And then what happens? That horse brings back 5 other horses. And everyone's like, oh my God, that's fucking amazing. That's incredible. He's like, maybe. Because then his son gets on the horse and he falls off the horse and he breaks his arm. And everyone goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And he goes, maybe. And then the army came and they were like, everyone needs to, go to war who's 18 and above. And the son was 18 and above. And he didn't have to go to war because he broke his arm. And it ended up being a good thing, the townspeople said, and he said maybe. Because here's the thing, every event in your life is actually neutral. It's just the meaning that you give it. So next one, the second mistake, manifesting from lack. This one is sneaky, right? Because on the surface, you're doing everything right. You're affirming, you're scripting, you're visualizing. But underneath it all is, I don't have it yet. I need to do more. I'm not there yet. That's lack energy. Even if the words sound positive. And this is why you can affirm 1,000,000 times and not get what you want, right? But here's the thing. The good news is that presence solves this because lack only exists in your thoughts. When you're fully present, you're not thinking about what's missing. You're just being here. And when you're here, you feel full, you feel complete, you feel grounded. When you're present, you're no longer asking for it. You're no longer asking for what you want. You're being it. And I never understood when everyone was like, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. You have to be it. And I was like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Like, no one was explaining it to me for years. Like, I had this question for years. And then I finally understood. That's why I have to tell all of you, when they say being it, they mean being in the present moment, right? Being who you would be if you already had what you wanted. That answered all my questions, so I hope it's answering yours. Mistake number 3, trying to fix the old identity. This one might be my favorite one because I got stuck here a lot. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. They're deep in healing, journaling, rewriting the past, fixing wounds. And listen, I want to say something. Healing isn't bad, right? But a lot of healing work is obsessed with the past. So what happened, why it happened, how it hurt you. And I got stuck in this trap. Like when I used to do self-development and, join a lot of courses, they were really heavy in, fixing yourself and healing your past. And I would end up, doing the course. And by the end of the course, I'd be like, why do I feel worse? Or why do I feel the same? Or why do I still feel stuck? And the reason was because I was constantly revisiting the past, right? And so here's the truth. You're still identifying with the old version of you. You're affirming over her, talking about her, analyzing why she is the way she is instead of moving out of her, because where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you're rehearsing the past every single week, your attention is on the past and you're going to keep creating from the past. That's not healing, right? That's not healing forward. That's staying anchored in the old identity. Because I always say your body wants to keep you where it's familiar. Because since we were cavemen, it wanted to keep you where you're familiar so that you didn't get eaten by a lion. So it doesn't care what you want to manifest. It cares where you are familiar. So if your past is something that you keep going over and you keep thinking about and you keep having the emotions about it and you keep feeling your past over and over again, that's what's familiar. That's why you're going to stay stuck living like Groundhog's Day, living the same thing over and over and over again until you watch this podcast and then everything changes. And so the best part is that presence solves this because this is my favorite. Presence dissolves that identity altogether. No past story, no past, no old self to fix, just a blank canvas, just now, just creating from right now. Presence doesn't fix the old self, it replaces it. Because here's the thing, once you let that script, you've been running a script since you were, since before when you were a kid, since like up until, 7, you were learning all these things and taking your subconscious. And so you've been running the same script for years until you become aware of that with presence. And then when you become aware of that and you become the observer of it, you can actually see the script. And when you become aware of the script, it actually dissolves on its own when you stop identifying with it and you just become the observer. So next, mistake number 4. This is the last one. Future doomsday thinking. We all know this one. The fake arguments in your head when you're in the shower, when you're driving to work and you're fighting with your boss in your head, when you're in the shower and you're fighting with, your ex or an ex-friend or one of your friends, whatever, the imaginary conversations, the what if everything goes wrong, movies that are playing out in your head, the spiraling, they're probably thinking about me or they're probably thinking this story. Here's the thing. Your brain isn't predicting the future. It's protecting an old identity. And why presence solves this is because when you drop into presence, those mental movies stop playing. You come back to right now, and in this moment, there's nothing to argue with because you don't have thoughts in your head. There's nothing to defend. There's nothing to catastrophize. And in presence, the argument disappears. Like literally, I'll be in the shower and I'll be arguing with someone in my head and then I'm like, wait, let me get into the present moment. And the imagined outcome loses power, the fear quiets, the clarity comes back because the future isn't happening. Your thoughts are. And presence is the moment you step out of that old identity and into a clean canvas and back into your life. Because the only moment that actually exists is now, right? When you're thinking about the past, you're thinking about the past from now. When you're thinking about the future, you're thinking about the future from now. And when you think about the past and the future and you're not thinking about the now, you're not being in the now, you're letting your life pass you the fuck by. So being present is not only the greatest manifesting tool ever, it's also going to help you live your life to the literal fullest. And so with the closing, this is why presence is the missing piece. No more, trying, no more fixing, no more effort, just being here fully on purpose. That's where everything changes. And I taught this to my clients in the Presence course. You can grab that below. Finally, I'm selling it on its own. People are absolutely obsessed with this. You can look at the success stories in the sales page linked below. And I also did a challenge this week, a Presence challenge in the membership. I am getting success stories every single fucking day. I will make another podcast episode on all the success stories from that challenge because, as always, they're blowing my fucking mind. But all I want to say is this shit works. This shit works. It works so well. I'm so glad that I found this. And if you need help with it, as always, the link's below. But your only job is to be in the present moment, to be here. Stop trying to fix yourself because nothing is wrong with you. I love you so much. You can be, do, and have absolutely anything that you want on this earth. And as always, like this, subscribe, follow me for more, and let me know if this, episode changed your freaking life and you had a lot of aha moments, because I know it did when I learned this. So I'm so happy to teach it to all of you. So I love you guys so much. Happy holidays. And yeah, that's all. Mwah.